As always, Ted, kick us off. Who do you have as your winner of the week?
Well, I thought about going with the Edmonton Oilers fans for throwing the nachos on the court to distract the goalie, Logan Thomas, who gave up the game winner. Did you see that?
First of all, I saw it. Second of all, absolutely love that you referred to it as a hockey court. That is so
Is that what I
perfect.
said
You are
on the
such a
court?
meathead. I love that. They threw them nachos on the hockey court.
Oh, that's funny. I didn't even think about that. That's embarrassing, but that was still funny. But I ended up going with OU football because I was just, peeking around at some of the mock drafts, and by my count, possibly up to 11 first round draft picks off of teams that they played this year. So, and I know these teams that we play are going to, there's a lot of talent and they rebuild quickly, but that's a significant amount of talent that we're not going to be facing next year. It's hard to replace first round talent on a college football team up to 11 guys. Every single SEC team we played has a mock rounder in the a mock draft first rounder except for Auburn at the moment. Pretty crazy.
Really?
Yes. And then you sprinkle in Michigan, who we play in the second game next season. They lost four first round or four mock guys that have the potential to go in the first round. That's a lot of talent out the door.
Michigan, like three of those guys are going to go in the top, let's say 12.
Yes. Yeah.
So your OU football is your winner of the week because all of the teams are losing really, really good guys.
Yeah, sure.
Well,
Sure. You gotta
it's
you gotta grab onto anything.
it's an interesting point because when you think about OU's best players in 2024, Stutzman and Bowman, both gone. But other than that, everyone is back.
Yeah. I've talked about it a lot. Uh, the majority of teams that we played, I mean, eight, nine seniors on defense, some even more. Ole Miss, ton of seniors. South Carolina, ton of seniors. Tennessee, ton of seniors. All these Auburn, ton of seniors. That it's one thing to have elite talent sprinkled in, but it's another thing to have a bunch of 23-year-olds playing against, we had a bunch of freshmen out there and stuff. So, I mean, we'll get better by that alone, I believe. Now, we're still going to face, some of the best talent in college football. There's no doubt about it. But, I mean, it is interesting whenever you start to look at the players that we face this year.
You are an absolute sicko. The NFL playoffs are still going on, and you're over there looking at mock drafts.
Well, I figured I'd snoop around a little bit, see what they're looking like, and as I was scrolling through the first round, I was like, I remember that guy. I remember that guy. I remember that guy. And I started to think there's a trend going on here that's showing up. We played against a lot of first rounders.
Maybe that's why the season went the way that it did.
Yeah. Part of it.
We need some of those guys.
Yes.
We
Yes, we
need
do.
we need some of these guys to develop into those types of guys. There's no doubt about it. Rapid fire. Ravens Chiefs. Oh, it's not Ravens Chiefs. Bills Chiefs. Who you like? It's got to be the Chiefs, right? Chiefs at home. I'm not going against Mahomes. No chance. Even though I will be cheering for the Buffalo Bills because they employed me and the Kansas City Chiefs did not.
I think everyone except for, Chiefs fans are going to be pulling for the Bills, but I've made this mistake a bunch in the past and in feeling like, Kansas City can't do it again. Yeah, yeah, they can. Great defense. Offense comes alive whenever they need it. Say what you want about Mahomes. He's incredible whenever the moments are big. I, I'm like you, probably going with the Chiefs, but will be pulling very hard for the Buffalo Bills.
Commanders Eagles. I'm surprised this spread is as big as it is. Philly's a 6 point favorite, 6.5 point favorite, some other places.
I'm worried that,
Hurts looks hurt. I mean, he is hurt. It's obvious he's hurt.
yeah,
Can that O line just maul that Commanders defense and Saquon just goes off? Yeah, very possible. But I don't know, man. I'm uncomfortable betting against Jaden Daniels right now with how that guy is playing.
I know it. I totally agree. Be interesting. Saquon Barkley is on one right now, and I'm going to go with Philly, just because how good they are running the football. But I'm not counting Jaden Daniels out. That dude is playing some excellent football at the moment. Skill guys, whenever a team gets hot and they feel like they've got a chance to do something special, that group tightens up and everyone starts to execute really good. I mean, I think it's going to be a great game. Edge Philly.
Yeah, give me Philly as well. But I don't feel good about it.
I know.
Don't feel good
I
about it.
know.
All right, who do you have as your loser of the week?
Oh, I thought about going Mark Andrews.
Oh,
Just brutal. Everyone knows drops the 2 point conversion. They crawled back into that football game, and he's catching the heat. He had the fumble there in the fourth quarter too, and then let's be real. It's a play he should have made. It's not an easy play, but it's a play he should have made, and it's just a brutal end of the season for the guy that passed Todd Heap for the most receiving touchdowns this year, and then passed Jamal Lewis for the most touchdowns ever as a Raven in this season. Just incredible. And then it ends the way it does. I hated that for him.
brutal. Has been an incredible player. The only good thing to come of it, have you seen what Bills fans have done?
No.
They have donated as of about an hour ago, they have donated over $50,000 to Breakthrough T1D, which is a type 1 diabetes research organization that Mark Andrews supports.
Good for them. And here everyone thought Philadelphia fans were all scumbags.
No, this is Bills fans.
Oh, sorry.
We're getting the
I mixed it up
NFL
again.
playoffs all mixed up. We're frazzled.
Bills fans were all scumbags. No, I great on them. I mean, that's a good deal, but I really would have liked to see Mark Andrews pull that 2 point conversion in. That was
Well,
a fun game at the end.
I really wanted him to see it because there was still over a minute and a half left, and I wanted to
Yeah,
see Josh Allen go do the thing.
he's been great. He's
It
been great. That was fun.
really good game, but yeah, rough stretch for Mark Andrews. Even though Mark's gonna be just fine, he's gonna be just
Yep,
fine. Incredible
he'll be
player,
fun.
awesome guy. But yeah, that was that could not have been a fun couple days. Still
That's,
probably not feeling.
but for loser, I ended up settling on Calipari at Arkansas, winless in conference play, 0-5 right now. Um, they're going through it, and he's losing one of the best freshmen in the country. Most likely going to miss the rest of the season with a hand injury. Boogie Fland, been a really solid player for him, and Arkansas fans not happy. It felt like the move of the century to get Calipari from Kentucky into Arkansas, but it has not been good so far this season.
Did you see the Jeff Goodman article about John Calipari and none of the SEC coaches fearing him anymore?
It's interesting, and I think Calipari he was great at recruiting, great at getting top talent into Kentucky, and I think there's room to argue that, well, how great of a actual basketball X's and O's coach has he been, other than just relying on great talent? And where he is at Arkansas, it's probably a little bit more about what can you do X's and O's, and it's been difficult. I don't know. we'll see. It's not off to a good start for him there, and it's going to get tougher before it gets easier. Hopefully, the Sooners can get back to back conference wins.
One SEC head coach told Goodman, "There's just no fear now when I see him on the other sideline. The game changed and he is becoming archaic."
Woo. Brutal takedown of Calipari.
Archaic. Someone calls you archaic. That's a fighting word.
It is, but it's kind of hard to argue with right now. I mean, it's not easy to come in year one and try and put something together, especially in the landscape of the SEC right now. It's not like, I mean, they're 0-5, but it's not like they're losing games to nobodies. The SEC's brutal this year.
No doubt about it. Come on, Sooners. Let's get this thing going. We
Yeah,
got to win. Saw one go in. Now it's time to roll, boys. Here we go.
that's right.
All right, let's get to my winner and loser. But first,
Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps you find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings. It lets you see all your subscriptions in one place and know exactly where your money is going. For ones you don't want anymore, Rocket Money can help you cancel them. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and saved a total of 500 million in canceled subscriptions, saving members up to $740 a year when using all of the app's premium features. You get alerts if bills increase in price, there's unusual spending activity, or if you're close to going over budget. Rocket Money will even try to negotiate to lower your bills for you. Automatically scan your bills to find opportunities to save. Then you can ask them to negotiate for you. They'll deal with customer service so you don't have to. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions and reach your financial goals faster with Rocket Money. Go to rocketmoney.com/game on today. That's rocketmoney.com/game on. Rocketmoney.com/game on.
and we are brought to you by Mando. It's 2025. New year, new me. You know the drill. One thing I'm not changing, though, is my deodorant. I love Mando's whole body deodorant. It's safe to use anywhere on your body and is aluminum free and dye free. The Cloverwood scent, really good. Also, a big fan of the bourbon leather, but Pro Sport has become my go to scent. But I like to have options, which is why I love the 3-pack you can order that has one of each scent in it. That way I can switch it up when I want, keep my wife on her toes, keep my kids on their toes. Hey, what's dad going to smell like today?
Who's
And
this guy?
luckily, who is this guy? And luckily, I have a discount code to help you get hooked on the best smelling whole body deodorant on the market. New customers get $5 off a starter pack with our exclusive code OK Breakdown. That equates to over 40% off your starter pack. Use code OK Breakdown at shopmando.com. SHOPMANDO.com. Code OK Breakdown. Please support our show and tell them we sent you. Smell fresh, stay drier, and boost your confidence from head to toe with Mando. My winner of the week, Caleb Williams. Bears hired Ben Johnson as their head coach. That is a guy that has turned down head coaching opportunities the last couple of coaching cycles, but ultimately decided this was the move he wanted to make. And my guess is he had his choice of a couple different places, and he chose Chicago. And I assume it has a lot to do with the fact that he's got Caleb Williams as his quarterback. And when you look at Ben Johnson, he's only 38 years old. Got to bring a lot of energy to that franchise, a lot of energy to that quarterback room. He is very well known for his creativity and just dialing it up offensively, Ted. I have to assume that Caleb Williams is absolutely ecstatic about this hire.
Should be. Should be. You know, at times this last season, really rough for Caleb Williams, as you would expect for a rookie, but he also showed some really nice flashes of what people thought that he could be. And, you know, get him in a system, like you said, that's got a lot of innovation, really creative, you know, because Caleb Williams has some really nice tools where you can do things like that. I mean, it's I'd say it's a very positive development for the Bears. Lions fans are probably pissed, you know, with the season they had. You go to a division rival, but all in all, I think you're right. Caleb Williams should be a big winner from this.
I'm interested in how Ben Johnson approaches the Caleb Williams situation because what makes Caleb Williams special is his ability to improvise. But you also want to get him to play within the structure of your offense that has been proven to be very, very effective. I mean, you look at Jared Goff's stats the last 3 seasons 2022, 4,438 yards, 29 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. 2023, 4,575 yards, 30 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. And this season, 4,629 yards, 37 touchdowns, 12 interception. The system works. But how do you get Caleb Williams to fit in the system, but also let him be him? And I think that that's going to be a really interesting balance for Ben Johnson to find with Caleb Williams at the quarterback position. But I'm really excited to see what it looks like. This is absolutely the best thing that could happen for Caleb Williams' NFL career is getting
Yeah,
Ben Johnson as his head coach. I mean, there are no excuses after this point, man. You've got the guy that everyone wants. So it'll be it's not all on Caleb Williams. He has to have help around him. The O line has to be better. That defense has to continue to be good. But what an awesome opportunity.
it is. It is. And I think that after year one, Caleb Williams, and this is kind of been one of my worries about him going to the NFL is you cannot rely on the improvising in the NFL. You have to let the system and the scheme do the work for you. You've got to be able to play the game from the pocket. And as you get good at that, then you start to work on improvising a little bit. You have to be able to get it done from the pocket, though. I mean, you look at Jared Goff and those numbers that you pointed out, that's letting the system do the work. Jared Goff is a good quarterback, but he's not what you would classify as a great playmaker. He's not Lamar Jackson out there, scrambling around, making unbelievable throws. He does the majority of his work from the pocket. Detroit had an incredible run game to build around. I mean, that's going to be really important for Chicago. That offensive line getting the run game going, and then it unlocks the rest of your offense.
I I was blown away by this stat from ESPN. The Lions have averaged at least 26 points per game in each of Ben Johnson's 3 seasons as offensive coordinator. The Bears have had 4 such seasons in the entire Super Bowl era:
It's wild.
85, 06, 13, and 18.
Wow.
So this could be a much needed infusion of offense into that organization. And the reports that Dennis Allen is going to be the defense coordinator there, I think that would be a smart hire for Ben Johnson, right? Bringing a guy who's been a head coach multiple times and is a very well respected defensive coordinator. So that should be a good resource for him as well. I think the NFL's more fun when the Bears are good.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see how this entire thing works out.
Yeah. And, some of those mock drafts, I was snooping around, had the Bears going offensive tackle with that first round selection that they have. I don't know what they're going to do. Who knows? But, you go back to Detroit. It didn't just happen. They built that team from the inside out. And I think that's the direction the Bears need to go. You're not going to get those numbers offensively unless you get your offensive line playing up to par.
Completely agree. Should be fun to watch. My loser of the week, Justin Thomas. I completely agree with what he said in the memo he sent out, but Ted, do other professional athletes love when one of their peers tells them what to do?
No, no,
It's like, hey
not
guys, this
typically.
is what we need to do. And he is right. Did you see the memo I'm talking about?
Yeah, I didn't see the memo, but I saw the dialogue going on surrounding it.
Yes. So Justin Thomas sent out a memo to the other players on the PGA Tour that basically said, "Hey, we need to do a better job of connecting with the fans. We need to show more of our personality. We need to get more young people interested in watching golf." And he basically said, "Hey guys, we need to become better entertainers. It'll make the fans happy, it'll make the TV partners happy." I completely agree with all of this. And his suggestions were more pre-round interviews, more mid-round interviews, wearing a mic out on the course, communicating like any equipment changes or swing changes that they've been working on and are using and around. Like it all sounds great to me, but I have to imagine there were several guys that got that memo and like, "You're not telling me what to do, Justin Thomas. Leave me alone."
There's no doubt. And, you know, golf is such a mental game that, some of your stars are out there and are able to play fairly loose, but everyone else is trying to make their mortgage and super dialed in and intense and really focused. I think some guys will be able to do that and, should do that, not because Justin Thomas told them to, but I mean, I do agree that golf has, you got your traditional viewers that are going to watch no matter what. But if you're going to bring new viewership and new fans in this day and age, you have to offer more. A lot of people aren't just going to tune in for, you know, 5 hours of coverage, listening to the birds chirp in the background. They want something. Give me a reason to tune in. What's happening out on the course? Take me behind the scenes a little bit. So I do agree with him, but I a lot of those guys are probably stuck in their ways to some degree.
I think the thing that I'd be most interested in is the overall strategy of playing a hole. Why are you hitting a certain club off the tee? Why are you aiming at a certain point? Like, why are you trying to put the ball where you're trying to put it? What shot are you trying to set up? Like that's the stuff that I think the overall plan for a hole, and clearly you would get the plan for each shot within that overall plan. Like that would be really cool for me. Is like their thought process, the discussion with their caddy of, "Hey, I want to put the ball here because this is the club, this is the swing I want to make into the green." Like I think that would be really cool for me as someone that's getting more into golf. Like, okay, how do these guys plan out an entire hole? Like I'm over here just trying to hit it straight, you know.
Yeah,
But like guys that are at their level, I'd be interested in hearing about more of the strategy of playing a golf hole.
right. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff there, and as detailed as those guys are, there's a lot of cool strategy that goes on, and I'm 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 totally on board. I There's a fine line between, what's interesting and, where there's a little, not necessarily too much. I sometimes I don't care for the conversation that's ongoing with the guys that are up in the booth. I sometimes that doesn't feel organic, but conversations with the caddy, just what their thinking is, I think could be really cool.
Yeah, I think there's a time and a place for some of the walk and talk stuff. Sure. And we've seen that on some golf broadcasts here recently. But yeah, I'm more interested in the player to player dialogue and the player to caddy dialogue. And
Agreed.
just I want to hear those guys who are the best of the world at what they do strategize.
Yep.
That's kind of what I hear. And if I don't understand what they're talking about, then that lets me know, like, hey, I need to go learn about what they're talking about. That would I think that would be a lot of fun. But I do think that the how popular golf has become on YouTube is a motivating factor for Justin Thomas sending something out like this. Like Bryson DeChambeau has gone from the most hated golfer to the most well liked golfer.
Yep. And
because
I'm in
of the
that group.
YouTube. Yeah,
I could not stand the guy before, and I really didn't have a reason, but
it
there
was the
was
hat. It was the hat.
that was part of it. I was just, there it was everything. But you took like the outside thought of who he was and you just kind of applied it to him until you got to see him do the YouTube stuff and see who he really is. And he does exactly what you're talking about. He goes out, he plays these courses, tries to break 60 or brings on a guest and they, try and break 50, and he has all these fun little things, and he does exactly that. He talks about every shot, what he's trying to do with it, what he's not trying to do, like where he can't miss some of those things, and you get to see that personality a little bit.
And he's become an entertainer. I watch a lot more live golf than I think a lot of other people do. And he has taken some of that, like that entertainment element, and brought it to that tour.
Yep.
Like celebrations, like just being. I think he's realized that if you just act like how a normal person acts when you hit a really good shot on a golf course,
Yep.
people then relate to that and they like you. If you
That's
hit it
right.
within 3 feet, get really excited because it's awesome. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I think he has, he now understands the entertainment element of being a professional golfer.
Yeah. It's totally changed his image. And I
Like,
haven't looked at his YouTube numbers, but I imagine the videos, a lot of them that he puts out probably rival some of the TV ratings for these mat tour stops that they have out there.
Justin Thomas, great memo. I'm sure some guys are going to tell you no thanks, but I think all the ideas are good. And I think golf broadcasts, like PGA Tour broadcasts, can get better. And it feels like it's heading that way to where they it becomes a more entertaining product if you're just sitting down and watching it.
Yeah. And it can I think DeChambeau has showed that you can make it look like what it looks like whenever a group of guys, friends go out and play golf, right? It's that's what it looks like whenever he does the YouTube stuff. And if you can bring that to a round to some degree, let's not get crazy here with fireball shots whenever someone makes a birdie or something. But I think that they can have fun with it, and I people want more these days. There's a lot of competition for people's attention out there, and if they want to stay relevant, they're going to have to do something.
Yep. Should be interesting to see if anything comes to this. Good effort, Justin Thomas. Good job. Good
Yeah.
leadership. Also, looks like JT's got his game on track. Runner up at the Amex last week. Atlanta Drive GC shutout NYGC. I watched some TGL on Tuesday night. Had nothing else to do. Why not?
Yeah. Yeah. It's
Awesome
good
putts from
background.
JT there. Incredible celebration with the but we'll see if anything comes of this. Keep our eye on what PGA Tour broadcasts look like.
Yeah.